All right, January 5th, 2023. We're on our way to Cambridge, Maryland right now. It's about a 40-minute drive from our shop in Salisbury to do a heat exchanger and an AIRTEMP gas furnace. It's a two-stage furnace. We do a ton of work out at this complex. We actually installed these units back in 2014, 2016, something like that. Might have been 2016. It's a kind of like a government housing type deal, government funded sliding scale type housing. But this particular furnace has been an issue. We've had a couple technicians out there. The last technician that went out there said he's got a bad heat exchanger. He thinks it's plugged, and we got approval to do it, and we're doing it. Which the heat exchanger is under warranty, but our labor and all is not. So we're going to go out there. We're going to do the heat exchanger, and I've done one other heat exchanger in these units before, and it is a complete pain in the ass to do. The front of the furnace where the door connects has a lip on it. I'll show you guys when we get there. It's got a lip, and the heat exchanger does not fit out unless you either bend that lip out or take both side panels off. And in this application, it is impossible to get both side panels off. So what I'm thinking about doing when we get there is just pulling the furnace out. Figuring out some way to float the coil and then disconnect the coil from the furnace, pull the whole furnace out so it's at least sitting where I can get to all the sides. I can flip it around, I can do what I need with it, and then try it that way. Because the last one I did, I was looking at it and I was deep into it by the time I thought, well, I probably should have just pulled the furnace out. But like I said, I was way too deep into the process. That would have added, another hour or so out onto the job, and I was already crunched for time. So what I ended up having to do was I took and bent the two side walls out, and the furnace looked like crap when I got done because I had to mangle this furnace to get the heat exchanger out. So I'm going to try to avoid doing that this time, but we're going to see how it turns out. But all right, guys, we got a little 40-minute drive ahead of us, so go ahead and hit that like button now. Let's get into it. All right, here it is. I already pulled the covers off of it, but when doing the heat exchanger, all this comes off. And this is the lip I was talking about. You see? It bends in, and the heat exchanger is as wide as the cabinet of the unit. However, this lip comes way in, and this is folded like this. This is part of the panel. This is folded. So these corners do not come off. And that is the biggest pain of this whole thing. So it seems like they should come off, but they don't. I'm going to try to leave a lot of this stuff wired. That way I don't have to rewire everything. So I'm thinking a lot of these pressure switches I might be able to keep wired and then just drop the harness right down and get it out of the way. So like all this, I might be able to keep wired up. We'll see how it goes though. You see a lot of this I can just drop right down over here. And that seems stripped out. Unplug this. This guy, maybe. See, a lot of this is dropping just right down here. All right, you can see a lot of this wiring I left hooked up and it's just gonna hang here. Well, I'm gonna have to disconnect this. I'm gonna have to get rid of that plug and these grounding wires, but you can see a lot of it I'm gonna leave hooked up. That way I don't have to rehook it back up later. So we're making progress here. I'm gonna get rid of all this wiring because I need this whole space wide open to get this heat exchanger out. You can see it fills up the whole cabinet here. So, and I still haven't given up on possibly getting these corners off. Like I said, last time I tried it, just wasn't feasible. Yeah, see, this is a lip. This side panel comes up to this lip. This is all one piece, which is a horrible way to do it, especially when you have to do a heat exchanger. It's just, they did not think about changing a heat exchanger out on these when they built this unit. That is for damn sure. Oh boy. All right, we got, like I showed you guys in the time lapse, I got that whole wiring harness off. And everything's mostly still hooked up on it. All the switches and everything, the board's still wired up, all that. Got my pile of parts here. I'm gonna take and probably cut this here, cut this guy here, and then do a Fernco there, or a coupling, whatever I got on the truck. Get this all the way out of the way, and then take these fittings off. Then I'll have a clean slate to work with. This is gonna have to bend down. I'm just gonna start taking screws out and hope for the best. All right, guys, I've been hemming and hawing and pushing on this furnace. And I just know from past experience with these, it's gonna be a bitch getting it out, just out the front. So I'm gonna figure out a way to float this coil. And this ductwork here is pretty solid. I think it's mounted pretty good. There's really no studs right here, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take 2 pieces of metal and I'm going to screw 1 piece to the ductwork and then find somewhere on this coil to screw a piece to on each side. That way, I can remove the furnace and have the coil floating there. I'll have to push up a little bit. You can see it's just this small lip on the furnace, but I'm gonna get this thing lifted up enough so I can get this whole furnace out. That's what I'm gonna do. And then we'll do the heat exchanger and then we'll push it back in. This is the best option for me. Anybody that's done one of these heat exchangers on these AIRTEMPs knows I'm gonna have to get both side panels off. I hate those lips on this thing. Just a horrible, horrible design from a service standpoint, but is what it is. But all right, let's do it. All right, you can see the sides of this coil is pretty wide open. So I can drill a hole or put a screw in on both sides and really not have to worry about it. So cool. All right, I got my bracket here for my piece of metal there and there. And I'm gonna try to pull the furnace out. See how it goes, guys. Wish me luck. Set it up here for your viewing enjoyment. See how it goes. Let's get it. Everything is loose, so it should honestly just pull right out. Yeah, that coil is holding on beautifully. Yeah, that ain't going nowhere. Bam. Should have done that the first time, guys. The first one I did. Now I can get to all these screws easily. I can fold these sides out. I might actually even take it off of the return box so I can get those sides folded out. I wish Kenny was here. Where the hell is Kenny at? He's still not here. It is a 40-minute drive. He doesn't get out of school till about 9:30. He had to go to the shop first, but hey, we're making progress. Our coil's floating there like a good boy. So have a look at this primary heat exchanger. The technician who diagnosed this heat exchanger said there's a block in the heat exchanger. Not that there's a hole, that there's a block. So we're gonna keep doing our thing. There's a bunch of shit in there that probably fell from above when I was pulling it out of here. I took this top piece off here, and then once I did that, the heat exchanger kind of fell backwards. So, I mean, it's pretty loose right now. I just need to get these sides opened up a little better. This was so much easier taking this all the way out. You know what? Honestly, I could probably just slide it out some and then just lift it right up out of the top. There's these little lips here I have to deal with, but I might not have to open up those sides any much further. Let's see. Let's get back here and set up. Let's see here. I don't think there's any other screws holding it in. I think all we have is this lip here. Hold on a second, what are we doing here? Oh, you know what? It's probably, yeah. This stuff up here was super hard to get off. Probably the same deal right at the bottom here, so I'll have to try to get that broken free. All right, now let's try. My only concern is I'm kind of tearing up the side insulation here a little bit. But I'll probably just take some spray glue and try to fix that before I drop the new heat exchanger in. There we go. Here's the old one. I might try to dissect it later and see where our blockage is, but here it is. We'll get this cleaned up a little bit. I'm gonna take some spray glue and try to fix this insulation here. Not too bad once I pulled it all the way out, guys. So I guess that's the way I'll have to do them from now on. Because if not, like I said, you have to fold these sides out. Just a huge pain in the ass all around, especially with the coil sitting on top like that. So let me get my spray glue. I'm gonna start fixing this insulation. Then we'll get the new one in. All right, I'm gonna be using the Spray and Bond by New Calgon today. Gonna really fix what I tore up here. Really not too bad. This side's coming off some too. Yeah, I tore up in here a little bit too, but not a whole lot I can do about it. You know what? I'm gonna get some tape and try to fix that. Some foil tape right here. Yeah, let me get a piece of foil tape to fix that. Might actually put some foil tape on these edges too, seal them back down. But here's the new heat exchanger. These secondary heat exchangers look like a tube and fin coil, and they really are, but they are extremely delicate. They are very fragile, and any little bit of hit or anything on them will destroy them. Because see, this is technically a tube that runs through there, but it separates. See, look at this. Each one of these is a separate piece, and they join it all together. So any breach in that, you're screwed. Don't know why they do them like that. Maybe to save money, but yep. Technically that's a tube, but it's all these fins make up that tube. See, this is the old one. I just pulled that apart. Crap. Total crap. All right, all the little places we dicked up the insulation, went ahead and fixed. Taped the sides back down, glued them. So I think we're ready for our new heat exchanger. Go ahead and put this guy right, Cha. Like I said before, being extremely careful not to damage the secondary heat exchanger. pretty much locked in. Figure out why our sides aren't folding in. There we go. It's not down all the way. What I'll probably do here is go ahead and start screwing in some of these screws on one side, get all that lined up, and then line up the other side. All right. All right. Our new heat exchanger's in. I didn't have to fold this down. That was in preparation of thinking I was going to leave it in place. So I didn't have to fold that down. So I can fold that back. Yeah, I got all the screws in up the sides. And heat exchanger's locked in. So now I just have to make a decision whether I want to reassemble it with it out here or push it back in place first. I think I might push it back in place first. That way, it's for one lighter, even though it's not a whole lot of weight I took off of it. But I just want it in place when I go to wire everything back up. That way it's everything is there. But it's going pretty smooth. Oh, I still gotta put the top on. This top piece, which is right down there. But man, I don't think I could have asked for it to go any smoother. I'm really glad I pulled this thing out of here. You know, you're not going to be able to do that in some applications. You know, if this was set up horizontal in a crawl space, forget about it. God help you if that's the case. You better have another guy with you, that's for sure. I just can't, I mean, they did not think these heat exchangers were going to fail. I guess. Because you have to take all those out up the sides. And like I said, God forbid it's in a horizontal tight crawl space or something. But, all right guys, let's throw this top back on. All right, she's in, she's solid. I don't know what the hell it's sitting on. I don't know why it keeps wobbling. Oh, it's on a vibration absorber. Huh, somebody probably did that to re-level. Oh, no, there's other ones back there. Oh, shit. All right, well, that might be a task, getting that back on those vibration absorbers, but we'll see. All right, we got her in there. I got it to sit on that vibration absorber. I don't know if it got on this one though. I can't see. I have to level the furnace up. It seems a bit wobbly, but I think it's good. It's been going a lot smoother than what I thought. So now comes the reassemble. All right, we're just connecting stuff back now. We're actually doing really good here. We're knocking this out of the park. So then we'll put the gas valve back on. Yeah, that one right there is going to plug into the gas valve when we put that back. And somebody, I guess, replaced this transformer and just kind of mounted it here, but it actually really goes back into here. This pressure switch here, Kenny, I'll show you where it mounts, and you can mount it. It mounts, kind of goes in here like this number. Yeah, it'll tighten up in there. And then this plug here, that tubing, put that tube on right there. All right, and the tube for the other pressure switch up there. We need to take some stuff off of that other one, but this tube connects right here. Connect that right there. I'm gonna look back on my picture. I took a couple pictures of this before we started, but I'm gonna just make sure all that's good. All right, oh, this guy got tangled in. Disconnect that. All right, and now take that switch out, out of that tangle, and install it on the draft inducer right here. There's some small Phillips screws. 1, 2. You might be able to get it with the drill. If not, just use the fit the 6-in-1 with the #1 Phillips. All right, now take the gas valve just like this, and put each one in one of those orifices, and I got the screws for it right here. I'll get the 5/16 or the 1/4 inch back on.
This or this?
Nope. Yeah, the first way you had it, just like that. Yep. Let me put the drill up here, and that's your 4th screw sitting up there, but here's the other 3. I'll hold it in place. Yep. And then you'll have to line it up like that, you see. And then that other plug here should actually, let me see. Yeah, it should plug right into that plug there. There we go. All right, this guy needs to pop back into here. I think it's gonna be a little tricky getting that in there. There we go. There we go, it snapped in. And then that guy snaps in the other side. Yep, you got it. Yeah, it's only gonna go in one way, so. This guy is gonna push right in just like that into that hole. Yep. And then take, those 2 wires are gonna connect one to each one of those. So we still have all of our groundings ground. So you see these 2 here, that hole right there, we're gonna get a screw and put both those together. Yeah, one of those, which one you got? Yep, that's good. Run it into that hole. Good. And then get your that other 1/4 inch screw here and do the other one. Do it in this one right here.
These 2 both go into it?
No, just this one I got in my hand here. Just run it right into that one. Good. All right, yeah, we want this. Loosen that just a little bit so we can turn those wires. All right, and then we're gonna turn them. back down. There we go. All right, this wire here, all that needs to pop through this black thing here. That'll push right through. It's designed so it'll go one way but won't pull back out.
So how'd you end up getting them out?
I kind of ripped on it and pried it open. I mean, you can get them back out. It's just normal tension on it won't pull it back out. Yeah, pull it all the way through till the yellow sheathing is coming through. Yep, right there. And then match up your colors. All right, we went to lunch, came back, and we got some stuff to finish up here. We're in pretty good shape though, honestly. Damn it, I need to see if we have a fern co so I can put this back. I'm sure I have one, if not a coupling. All right, Kenny, we need to put all this thermostat wiring back in. It'll go through this hole back here, and then this little grommet here will connect it. So you probably have to put through one at a time because that's a lot of bundled up here, but you go ahead and put those through.
Under, over?
You can do it over, depending on, I mean, whatever's easier for you, really. All right, Kenny's gonna hook up the thermostat wiring now, and then we'll work on all the piping that needs to be redone. There you go. And then clean the inside of the fitting. All right, didn't have a 2-inch fern co. Could have swore I did, but I don't. It's in there somewhere, I just can't find it. So we're gonna just use a coupling. I got a 2-inch coupling. I'm gonna get that hooked back up. And then we'll get the fresh air hooked up. And start hooking all this tubing up. We're moving right along. All right, coming right along. We got to get this gas line over to here. It's gonna pop through there. We'll get some pipe dope to connect our 90 and then nipple there for our union. I think that's it, honestly. We'll make sure we zip tie some of this wiring so it's not as all over the place, but man, we are really knocking this thing out of the park today. All right, Kenny, go grab the pipe dope. And also while you're out there, grab a 3/4 PVC coupling. All right, this fresh air intake still needs to be locked into. That'll go on there. This guy will go here. Kenny to lock all that down when he gets in here. All right, guys, we are just about ready to turn this thing back on. I'm gonna turn our gas on. Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right, we got everything on. We're gonna turn our switches on. I cut off both these switches just in case I accidentally cut this one on working on this thing. So one thing to remember when you do a brand new heat exchanger is there's a lot of machine oil on it. Just like when you start up a new furnace, it's gonna smell burnt and there's gonna blow a little bit of smoke. So you just gotta keep that in mind. All right, let's see if this baby works. inducer. Pretty sure I heard all those pressure switches close. Maybe not. We got a switch open somewhere. Maybe I got a tube off or something. All right, guys, we're using an option on this dual port manometer that I don't use very often, but it's the pressure switch tester. Now, this is a 1.0 switch, so we're gonna test it now and see exactly what it's at. So basically our meter is going to apply pressure in small increments to our pressure switch until it closes. And once it closes, this little red light will come up. You see it was closed. Oh, I got a low battery, god damn it. All right, we got a fresh battery in her now. This pump works very sporadically, but you want to, we know this switch is a 1-inch switch, so it doesn't increase as fast as you think it would, but we're going to go ahead and raise it until we get up to, I mean, you can see I'm steadily hitting it and it's like barely moving, and sometimes it does move. So once you get to the point where you're close, you do have to be very patient with it. All right. Well, it did close. You guys see the red light on, and then it closed. So we're going to drop it down. See, I got a little bit trigger happy there. We're going to drop it down below 1 inch. All right, it cut back off right around 0.91, which is normal. So we're going to raise it up and then see where it cuts back in at. All right, we're at 1 inch now. 1.01. Well, it did close before. All right, there we go. It just closed. So we did close around 1.06. Now that's assuming that our manometer is completely zeroed out, which it might not be, but I feel that's close enough to 1 inch to say that pressure switch is good. All right, so we're going to disconnect all this stuff. We'll get it hooked back up. The reason why the one pressure switch didn't close before was because I forgot to put a plug over here, this cap right back there, that little black cap. I forgot to put that in, and a lot of the air was escaping. All right, second try. It does take this furnace quite a long time to fire, to go through its startup procedure. But we're not kicking a pressure switch error anymore, so that's good. Igniter. That's just about 1 minute of startup. I started this clip right when the inducer started, and it fired right around 101. So this thing has a 1 minute startup sequence. And it's about to start smelling smoky in here in a minute. Well, that was certainly an ordeal. These fire alarms, these smoke detectors went off for a good, I don't know, 10 minutes. Maybe not that long, at least a solid 5 minutes. So we finally got them to shut off. I got all the windows and doors open. I knew that was going to happen though, but it was still annoying. But we're rolling right along now. I'll let the windows and doors stay open for a little while longer. Let this smell air out. All right, we've done several startups here, and I think we're good. We're just doing one final startup, because if it's gonna fail, it's gonna fail on startup. Beautiful. Yeah, so a lot easier to do that heat exchanger when you pull the furnace out. I understand you're not going to be able to do that in every application, but in this one I can. So that's the way I'm going to start doing them from now on. But all right, hopefully you guys got something out of this. Hopefully it was educational and informative. And if you thought it was good, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new here. Check down in the description box. I have some products down there. Use the link, should get a discount, plus I get a small commission off of it. Great way to support the channel. So, all right guys, but I'm gonna head on home. Hope you guys have a good rest of your day. I'll see you on Monday. Catch you on the next one.